Pwede na siguro mag-start, Josh.
Okay, sure. Um, may intro ka pa, sir? Sir Sherwin? Or...
Welcome to the National ICT Month. And thank you to Data Engineering Pilipinas for having our first webinar. So I'll turn it over to Josh and Nina, your speakers for today.
All right, thanks so much, sir. Okay, so hello, everyone. Yeah, so thank you for spending time with us. It's already Saturday, but you guys are still here. And I hope na in the next two sessions you learn something from us. Okay? So this is gonna be parang our start for the National ICT Month with the theme of Digital Bayanihan. And in my topic, I'll be talking about the shifting to a data job in 2025. So is it still really possible for us to shift careers in 2025? Okay, so let me just introduce myself. I'm Josh, and I started my career as a BPO agent, tapos naging communications and product trainer. Right now, I'm a consultant and a freelancer. So, ayan. And my proficiencies are focused on primarily in data engineering. So, as well as the dashboarding, since on top of the dashboard, the pipelines that I'm creating, nagbe-build din tayo ng dashboard para mas makita natin yung reports. So, primarily para magamit din ng mga users. And I also have some experience building machine learning models for some financial data. So ngayon, ang pag-uusapan natin sa araw na to is if it's possible to shift to a data role. And generally, I think this can be applied to all technical roles here in 2025. And right now, you might be asking if it's still possible, primarily because panahon na ng AI ngayon, right? So, makikita kayo ng AI na products that can automate a lot of processes na ginagawa ng mga data engineers, even web developers. So, meron na tayong agentic AI na tinatawag. Those solutions can create or can replicate the role of a data engineer, a software developer, or even the web developer para sila na yung magbe-build ng websites, ng data pipelines, and even applications for us. So medyo advanced na yung era ngayon kasi yung mga ganong solutions parang before yun na yung mga parang pinag-aaralan natin sa college and sometimes yung mga courses na tinitake natin for us to shift to those careers. So ngayon, with this question, pwede pa ba? So ayan. And the answer to that is, syempre, pwedeng-pwede. Okay. Pero before you shift to these careers, I want you guys to have these considerations muna. All right? So number one, ano ba yung mga dahilan natin kung bakit tayo nag-shift ng careers? And sige, konting interactions lang tayo. Sige, on the chat, if you are shifting or if you're a career shifter, maybe from an engineering career to a software engineering career, or kahit anong career man yan, basta nag-shift kayo to a different job. Ano yung mga naging reasons nyo kung bakit kayo nag-shift ng careers? Ayan. Sige, feel free to chat. Mamaya sabihin ko sa akin kung bakit ako nag-shift ng career. Um, mas malaki pa sweldo. Okay, thank you so much, Nina. I got tired of talking to people. BPO, alright? May taga-BPO rin tayo dito. Actually, nakakapagod talaga yung ano, yung calls, especially if you're coming from a different um na more toxic quote unquote na account sa BPO. Eto may BPO din, back office. Wow, 12 years. Expanding kaka-computer mentality. Ano yun? Alam ko yung kaka-computer is a podcast. Okay, cool. Ito pa, meron. Sige, basa pa tayong isa. Yung mga naging work ko is hindi masyadong exposed sa line of BS, business or iba yung BS na naisip ko. Sorry, ayan, basta. Line of business, I think. ME, I don't feel any career growth. Okay, career growth. Let's also talk about that later on. Quantitative, okay, different things that you want to do. Flexibility, career growth, never-ending knowledge. All right, cool. Yeah, so medyo diverse yung mga reasons natin, no? So hindi lang siya super direct to just one reason lang. All right, cool. So ngayon, sige, let's let me just list down some of the reasons why people are shifting careers. All right. Number one, by the way, this is particular dun sa sa tech careers so far. Pero people have been saying na people in IT are being paid well. So good salary daw siya. And since right now more on data engineering, data related courses or careers yung mga pinag-usapan natin, let me show you yung salaries of data jobs according to JobStreet. So kanina kaka-search ko lang nito, ito yung range niya. So if you look for the actual title na data analyst, you will be getting around 33 to 43,000 pesos. For data engineer, siya actually yung pinakamalaki, around 83 to 90K. And for data scientists, it's ranging from 61 to 71K. So ayan yung mga makikita nating average salary according to JobStreet. Ngayon, if we are switching careers and our motivation is really getting, ayan, 46K lang daw dito, sabi ni Jayla. Ayan. So we will be talking about those aspect naman. All right. So now, if you are switching careers and are aiming for a higher salary, um, are we guaranteed ba na when we switched careers, eto na kagad yung makukuha natin? So those are some considerations that you might want to think of if you are switching careers. Ayan. And again, this is not just essentially for technical careers, but generally for other careers na din. If you're switching for probably an accounting role, a finance role, and those stuff, right? But for now, we will focus on the tech careers. Yeah. So ngayon, if that's one thing that you might think about. So sure ba na makakakuha tayo ng ganitong salary? So before pala, when I was shifting careers, nakapag-land ako ng data job ko back in 2020. That was during the pandemic. My last role was communications trainer. Tapos yung naging next job ko, which is a data job na, was um, business system support yung title ko nun. But my role was kind of like a data associate na nag-handle ng mga request to create product records sa Salesforce. Tapos, binabalidate ko lang yung mga entries na if tama yon. Tapos, meron ding mga maintenance na ginagawa dun sa master data. So, medyo lapit din sa data steward na role. So, ayun. And my last salary nung comms coach pa lang ako, I think it was 24 or 27 yata, if I'm not mistaken. Tapos yung naging job ko after that, yung business system support na yon, that's around 30K na. I'm sorry, flat pala yun, flat 30K. So yun, medyo masaya na ako nun actually. Nung nagkaroon ako ng increase, at least na-maintain ko yung tumaas siya instead of bumaba. So yun ang naman yung goal ko back then. So yeah, medyo swerte tayo nun. Pero again, having an increase in salary is not really a guarantee. Especially, di ba, ang competitors natin right now, if we are switching careers, maybe we are competing with seasoned professionals na, right? And we are competing for that particular salary range na talagang at par na sa mga sabihin nating seasons or even senior levels na. So that's one thing that I want you guys to always think about. In terms of salary, there's some probability, um, there's some level of uncertainty na hindi tayo makakakuha ng ganitong salary. And probably we might be even offered with a lower pay. All right? So yun talaga yung parang reality when we are applying for jobs. Pero I want you guys to always think about two things when thinking about the salary. Number one, are my skills at par enough to get this job that pays this much? So if, for example, if you're pursuing a career in data engineer, yung current skills ko ba is enough na sa ganitong level? I'm not saying na you have to downplay or lowball yourself, but always try to assess the current skills that you have now. All right? Kasi yung pangalawang point na gusto kong iisipin nyo rin is kapag may makikita kayong mga lower offers, for example, sa data analyst tayo, binibigyan kayo ng offer, let's say mga 25,000, right? Pero if you consider the complexity of the role, tapos yung job description nyo na kayo pala magbibuild ng pipelines, kayo magbibuild ng dashboard, tapos may mga ginagawa pa kayong reports for many users, is it still worth it to take that job? So ayun. So also assess the complexity of the job, and if you are comparing your current skills talaga na talagang na-prove and tested mo through your upskilling as well as the projects that you have built, um, pasok pa ba talaga yung current skills ko dun sa particular na salary na yun. So yun lang, parang more on consideration and try to balance the skills that you have as well as the complexity of the job. All right, cool. Um, yeah, so that's one. And another reason or yeah, reason that you might be thinking about is you like, may nabasa ko kanina, parang that person wants to be more exposed in technical. Ayan. So, yung experience ko pala, kwento ko na lang din kasi 'di ba naging trainer ako before. Um, Nagko-conduct ako ng trainings, nagpa-facilitate, nag-upskill ako, new hire and even seasoned professionals, seasoned agents. Ayan. So yun, parang more on training talaga. Tapos back in 2018, nagkaroon kami ng data storytelling na course, internal training dun sa company namin. At parang yun yung time na naging interesado talaga ako sa data. So after that time, lahat ng mga reports na pinaggagawa ko, puro infographics na. So yun talaga yung naging parang turning point ko on to switching careers papunta sa data career. Ayan. So there, that was actually my reason why I switched careers. And back then then actually, 2017 onwards, nag-aaral na ako matuto mag-Excel. Kasi parang natuwa ako sa capabilities ng Excel. You can even do a lot of things with just a simple spreadsheet. Nakagawa ko at nakapag-implement din ako ng mga scorecards, ng mga master list that can parang ETL lang yung ginagawa ko before nun eh. Kasi merong multiple spreadsheets na grade book na tinatawag namin from different classes. Tapos, yung master file na yon, kiklik mo lang yung mga buttons, i-consolidate nyo na yung mga sources from multiple files. So, ayun, parang yun talaga yung parang nagpa-boost sa parang interest ko towards a tech career and a data job. So that was my reason why I switched career. And having this reason is actually a good motivation for you to really persevere. Kasi ang kagandahan nito is parang siguro hindi ka mapapagod to learn something new about that particular role. Um, Ayun. So may same daw ako reason na career shift. Nice, nice. Ayan. Okay. And another reason. So I want to apply tech or data skills to improve what I do now. So again, balik tayo sa example ko as a trainer. So kunwari, ang gusto kong approach noon is kaya ako gusto matuto ng ganitong skills ay para mag-improve yung process namin. So this is not something about career shifting but a question or an aspect about upskilling. Ayan. So if you want to learn about data skills, how to clean up the data in a more efficient way, tapos kung paano tayo mag-trace ng mga issues dun sa data natin, especially like if you want to implement a training program, how do you measure if it's effective or not? So that's something that can be done through upskilling na lang. So of course, you're not supposed to switch just for the sake of improving something on your current role. Pwede ka naman mag-upskill na lang. All right. I'm also highlighting this part kasi I want you guys to also think about na shifting to a data role may not always be the answer. If you just are interested to play around with data, to be exposed in tech, para mag-programming, tapos try mo mag-implement ng mga projects na pwedeng mong magamit dun sa particular na role na yon. Maybe you're not really intended to shift careers, right? Maybe your calling is to just really stay on that particular job. Tapos upskill ka and try to implement processes that helps you apply those skills and at the same time improve the processes na meron kayo. So ayun din, I want you to also consider that para at least something na parang di naman talaga dapat tayo nag-shift kasi especially in data, um, kahit saang industry merong data yan. And if you have exposure to those data, now the thing that you might also consider is how can I use this data para ma-improve yung mga problems na meron kami? Or maybe, let's do it differently. May mga ganito kaming problema and I have this data. How can I leverage on these data to address this problem? So that's one thing that also I want you guys to consider when you are shifting careers. Kasi baka mamaya mag-shift kayo ng career na ibang industry. You're coming from BPO, tapos lilipat kayo sa insurance. So iba talaga yung makikita mong experience doon. Iba yung magiging environment nito. I think ito yung nakikita ko ring reason before. I want to feel more fulfilled. So right, and realistically, meron naman talagang rules or meron mga tao na parang hindi nakakakuha ng sense of fulfillment dun sa particular na job. And that's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually one good way, or maybe shifting careers is a good way for you to um, parang test the waters and see if that career is really for you, right? Or maybe you can actually even shift careers, right? Actually, ako graduate ako ng marketing. So, tapos naging role ko BPO. Tapos napunta naman ako sa tech. So, medyo tatlong beses yung tinulungan ko. Um, ayun, so parang it's a good way for you to really pursue something na talagang makakapukaw dun sa kalooban mo. Ayan, medyo malalim yun. But yeah, that's also one possible reason why we are switching careers. Okay, cool. So yeah, those are just some high level reasons why people are shifting careers, and I want you guys to also consider these things kasi um, you might be um, pursuing something na baka hindi talaga kayo sure. So ito yung mga siguro initial questions nyo na I want na probably makatulong sa inyo to really decide if you would like to switch careers. All right, cool. So now another question. What career should I switch to? So let's say desidido ka na gusto ko mag-pursue ng ganitong career, let's say in data. Um, kaya kunwari sa data, ayan. Anong gusto kong data job na feeling ko ay para sa akin or gusto kong i-pursue? So with that, I want to give you some introduction to how the standard, or maybe not I think this is a standard, right? The standard way of how businesses use their data. In their day-to-day operations. All right. So this is what we call the business intelligence framework. All right. So typically, this is how businesses use their data. So now, at the very end, ito yung pinaka-objective ng mga business. All right. So magkaroon tayo ng output kung saan makakapag-generate tayo ng insight. So kunwari, if we are working with a real estate industry, okay, nakikita natin na ang taas ng, sorry, ang baba ng occupancy rate ko. So, ibig sabihin ng occupancy rate, ito yung percentage na kung ano yung mga properties mo ang occupied. Ibig sabihin, napapaupahan or nabili na or whatnot. Ayun. So, ang gusto mo, mas mataas yung occupancy rate mo. Pero as you can see on the data, ang baba ng occupancy rate mo. So, ano kaya yung possible reasons? So, yun yung mga insights na gustong makita ng business from the data. Alright? Another reason is to recommend action. So now, having the fact na mababa yung occupancy rate ko at ito yung mga drivers kung bakit mababa yung occupancy rate natin, ano yung mga action na pwede natin gawin? Siyempre, yung data naman na, yung insight, hindi lang siya nagtatapos sa factual, right? Kung anong alam natin sa data na ganito yung percentage um, ng ganitong attribute, ito yung number natin, average, blah, 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 blah. So those are just descriptive analytics. So what we want to do is to be prescriptive, right? To recommend actions based dun sa data na meron tayo. And at the very end, to implement those actions and turn that into a process na when we, for example, reach this level of occupancy rate, ganito yung magiging campaign natin to promote our business, our available na units na pwede nating ipaupahan sa ating mga possible customers. Ayan. All right. So these are the output or results that each business is intending to have. So notice na nagsisimula ako dito, right? I don't want you guys to focus on this layer kasi at the very end, ang gusto natin magawa is to help the business or an organization or even another domain na makapag-produce ng mga ganitong output. Okay? I want you to focus on that particular level first before we dwell here. Kasi dito na tayo pumapasok yung mga technical skills natin. Alright? So now, having those objectives, right? Ang goal natin is to make use of our data to have this output. And to do that, ito yung ginagawa natin. Number one, we have various data sources. Meron tayong databases, meron tayong files, meron tayong cloud sources, and sometimes people or some organizations have sensors na nangongolekta ng mga real-time data there. So what each business or at least a data team is intending to do is to have a central repository of the data sources. And that's what we typically call as a data warehouse. So we're collecting those data and storing that into this data warehouse that can easily be used for analysis purposes. And from there, dito tayo magbubuo ng mga data products natin. So we do exploratory analysis, experimentation, kikreate tayo ng mga dashboard, and yung mga typical na ginagawa natin ng machine learning models that we can use to generate insights and recommend actions for the business. So yeah, this is a very straightforward framework that we can use para mas mag-gets din natin, especially for people who are shifting careers to data. I want you guys to have this level of understanding of how businesses use the data for their day-to-day operations. All right? Ngayon, having an understanding of this framework, let me introduce you as well to the common data rules na meron tayo. Ayan. Ito na yung mga marinig nyo. Medyo luma na nga tong titles na to. Kasi may mga nag-evolve na to actually. So may mga makikita na kayong analytics engineer, meron na yung ML engineer, so data visualization specialist. So marami na siyang different titles that you can use. But I want you guys to focus on um, the the core skills as well as the things that they are doing in this framework. All right? Wait lang. Okay, so let's start from data engineer. So focus nila is to build and maintain the infrastructure for data generation. So mamaya papakita ko saan sila napupunta. Pero ang focus ng data engineers ay sila yung basically sila yung nagbibigay ng or nag-deliver or nag-create ng data sa atin. All right? Create in the sense na make all of these data sources readily available for you. So meron tayong source from files, databases, and even cloud sources. So ang ginagawa ng data engineers, nilalagay na lang nila sa isang repository para madali na siya magamit ng mga analysts and data scientists. All right? Next naman, sa data analyst. So they're the ones who are experts of the business. All right? Um, I don't want you guys to think about creating dashboards and presentations, yung typical na trabaho ng data analyst. But these people are supposed to be good at the business as well, right? So they're intended to understand how the business work. And for example, yun nga, meron tayong issue on the low occupancy rate in a real estate business. They know where to look at, ano yung mga factors that could really influence these findings, right? And oh my gosh, 30 minutes na lang pa. Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, cool. And there, so yun, sila yung talaga nagbibigay ng parang findings talaga or ng general insight kung paano maa-address yung mga ganong problema. Alright? And for data scientists, so aside from doing what data analysts do, data scientists are the ones who are doing the complex analysis to generate more insights from the data. Ito yung mga insights na sobrang natatago na probably hindi pa alam ng business. Pero historically, based sa data, makita na nila yon. So for example, they can try to correlate different factors that could influence the behavior of consumers. Maybe they can see how the weather situation affects buying consumers to buy products from our stores, sa mga ganon. So yeah, they're the ones who are doing those things. And kung saan sila napupunta dito sa business intelligence framework natin. Um, Syempre, itong sa part na to, trabaho yan ng data engineer. Tapos, yung data analyst naman, ito yung usually na ginagawa nila, data exploration, visualization and dashboard, and of course, more on really exploratory analysis talaga. And for data scientists, typically they'll be doing these stuff. So more on the machine learning models, predictive analytics, and those things, right? But these people, they should be the primary goal that they have is to deliver these output. All right. So for example, si data engineer, hindi siya gagawa ng pipeline na for the sake of ma-implement ko lang tong trendy na infrastructure na to. So ngayon kasi uso yung dbt, uso yung Spark ngayon. Gagamitin ko kasi uso. No. Ang goal ng data engineer is to just deliver data based on what the business needs. For example, if kailangan ng business natin na magkaroon ng real-time data ng data for the regular occupancy status ng isang real estate property. So gagawin niya yun on a daily basis kasi syempre he knows na yung particular real estate na properties naman hindi naman siya real time na nag-update kasi people can buy properties or rent leasing space every month or maybe weekly. So but not necessarily real time siya kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao bumibili ng hindi siya parang pochi na bibili mo lang everyday, 'di ba? So gano'n. So it can real time update dun sa property can just be enough, right? So there, these people um are using these initial goals before they do their job. All right, they're not doing these jobs um at the very first layer, pero ang isip nila at the very first hand is to generate these insights that can drive the business. Okay? There you go. And sige, last point na or last consideration na that we can think of is what are your plans when switching careers? Um, Dito na papasok yung ano yung mga trainings na take mo, ano ba yung mga certifications na gusto mong i-take kung meron man para makapag-switch ka dun sa career na yun. At ang gusto kong isipin niyo rin when you are switching careers is in the span of 6 months, kunwari yun yung goal mo para makapag-switch ka ng career or makapag-land ka ng job. I want you guys to consider then, what if hindi ako makapag-land ng job in 6 months? Kasi nahirapan ako sa course na to, nahirapan ako dun sa particular na technical skill na to. So yun, I want you guys to also have that plan na whatever happens, meron kayong plan B. Okay? Huwag kayo basta-basta mag-resign sa role nyo for the sake of learning something. Okay? Kasi there's a lot of weird things that's going on nowadays. So may mga surprises na mangyayari sa industries. Nakikita nyo naman yung mga layoffs right now sa Western countries. So ayun lang. I want you guys to be ready for those aspects na paano kapag hindi ako nakakuha ng job na based dun sa salary na gusto ko, yung mga ganon. So always have a plan B. Alright? Um, Share ko lang isang post na nakita ko na may isang gusto talaga mag-shift to a data job. So meron siyang trabaho ngayon and he has a part-time role din. So every Saturday lang siya nag-upskill or nag-aaral. Kasi hindi niya kaya resign right away kasi financial reasons. Kailangan niya mag-provide for the family. So yung mga ganong perspective na ang end goal pa rin natin is makasurvive. Ayan. So there. Strategize how you manage your time para you're learning efficiently at the same time you're not sacrificing your your career. Ayan. Okay. So last point, sorry. 5 more minutes, Nina. Okay. There. So now, ano yung mga pwede kong gawin para makaland ako ng aking first data job? So if you guys are now shifting careers, ito yung mga bagay na pwede yung gawin. So number one, syempre basic na to. You have to upskill. So learn the fundamentals of the job that you were pursuing. If you go to the data engineering website, Data Engineering Pilipinas website, there's a lot of resources out here na nagbibigay sa atin ng roadmap. Ayan. So just go to that website para if you are still lost on what to do. So marami resources dyan na pwede niyong sundan kung paano makaland ang job na gusto nyo. I think it's not just for data engineering but also for other data roles. Etong sa roadmap.sh, nasaan na yun? So, roadmap.sh. If you go to this link, may makikita pa kayong mga roadmap for other roles dyan. Alright? So, number 2, get your hands dirty by building projects. Alright? And when you are building a project, you have to show them off. That way, especially kapag nagpo-post kayo sa LinkedIn, ayan. Kasi ang kagandahan nun is, bukod sa nakikita siya ng mga potential recruiters, kapag ka nag-share yan, so it has a possibility of people seeing your projects and, that's a good way for you to get the connection out of your projects, right? Let me share with you guys that I have built these playlists on YouTube. I have end-to-end projects, and I also recommend that you guys build and full stack projects kay data. This way, it helps you, number one, be more savvy dun sa technical skill na yon. And number two, it helps you decide further kung ano bang role na gusto nyo. Kasi these projects help you understand what each role is doing. So kapag nagbe-build kayo ng dashboard, tingin niyo ba nabobore kayo kapag nagpapalit kayo ng kulay or mas na-challenge kayo to make your dashboard look better than what you built now? Or tingin niyo bang napapagod kayo sa pagbe-build ng pipelines at um, doon sa sobrang technical ng mga pipelines nyo or mas gusto niyo yung pipeline nyo kada takpo 1 segundo lang, mga gano'n. So dun niyo mas makikita kung ano ba yung mga roles na para sa inyo. And I also wanna add yung isang talk ni Doc Ligot with Mr. Sherwin actually. Maganda yung sinabi kasi doon ni Sir Sherwin na more than the technical skills na meron kayo na gusto nyong aralin, focus on the fundamentals. So for data engineers, they're not supposed to be good. They're not just supposed to be good with the pipelines, with the ETL. They also need to be good at the concepts of data warehousing, data modeling for the sake of this particular use case. For analysts, hindi lang yan dashboards, hindi lang yan visualizations, but they're also intended to be good at knowing the root cause of the problems that they're trying to solve. So those core skills, yung mga soft skills na yon, problem solving and being more analytical. So yun yung mga another skills na dapat hino-hone din natin aside from the technical skills. Yung tech skills, madali siyang ma-acquire. Pero yung mga ganung core skills talaga, yun yung mga practice, yung mga skills na mas malalearn mo, matututunan mo as you move forward and as you be more exposed to these projects. All right? So yun, aside from the technical skills, focus on those aspects as well. Lastly, you need to connect and establish your network. All right? So if you're a bit lost, feel free to join the community, Data Engineering Pilipinas. So what's nice thing about the Data Engineering Pilipinas is that the community, it's really supportive. People have been sharing their success stories, their tips on how to land a job. From time to time, may mga makikita kayong mga data master sessions, carry of kata. Ayan. Ayun. So, marami kayong mga makukupulot na mga story, kwento, and even advice from these people. And they're very approachable. Hindi sila snob. Ayan. So, feel free to ask questions from these people. And these are some of the meetups that we had. Ito yung pinakaunang meetup namin last 2024, last year. Ito naman yung this year namin. Ayan. Ayun yung t-shirt ko. Okay. So there. And to wrap it up, pwede pa ba akong mag-shift to a data role this 2025? The answer again is yes, pwede. And if kaya ko, kaya nyo. So that is it for my presentation, and I hope that you picked up something from this uh, storytelling. So thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, sige, let's probably have 2 to 3 minutes for some Q&A. If you have questions, feel free to chat na lang. All right, cool. Ayan, if you have thank you sa mga nag-a-answer na po sa mga sa chat. So ayun. Sige, 2 to 3 minutes. Feel free to ask your questions. Our next speaker, by the way, is Nina Gomia, a lead data engineer, and she's going to be talking about how to move on from getting laid off. Ayan. But before I hand over the floor, ayan, any questions? Ayan. Naka-move on na daw ba talaga? Okay, so I think nasagot naman na yung mga initial questions kanina. But if you guys have more questions, ito, sige. If you are aiming to become BA or BI, is it possible to land ng job if you have only SQL and Power BI technical skills? I mean, no Excel skills. Okay. So as mentioned kanina, aside from the technical skills, also focus on the fundamental skills for that particular role. So si data analyst, aside from being good with SQL and even Excel, they're also good at understanding the business domain. If ikaw, you're coming from a real estate business, lagi ako real estate kasi lagi real estate yung primary experience ko rin. At alam mo kung paano gumalaw yung business, kung ano yung mga dapat tignan dun sa particular na domain na yon. You should still try kahit ganun pa lang yung skills mo kasi um, yun yung kailangan, yun yung mas kailangan ng skills ng um, kapag ka napupunta ka sa mga data skills. Kasi they're not just really asking questions about the technical skills, but they're also asking questions about the business itself. Yun yung naging experience ko back with when I was still with SM. Yung mga na-reject noon ay medyo hindi sila savvy sa domain. Ayan. Mas ang na-hire kasi nung nag-apply, yung nagkaroon ng opening kami sa BI, um, yung skills dun sa real estate. So yung nakuha kasi namin back then, real estate din yung naging experience niya. Kahit wala siyang skills sa Power BI, kasi Tableau siya, yung expertise niya. So nakuha pa rin siya. And actually, that person was one of the best hires that we've had. Ayan. All right, cool. So sige, sige, one more question. May mga nakikita akong posts na mga nag-analyst before na mag-data engineer. Necessary pa ba mag-analyst first before pursuing a career in data engineer? Meron namang mga junior data engineer out there, so you can try them. At yung mga positions na nagre-require ng 1 to 2 years, I think you can still try that. Pwede naman na ganun yung maging way nyo para at least mas start kayo doon sa pinaka-fundamentals ng pagiging data professional. Ayan. So yun, you can do that, but I want to mention din na meron mga junior levels naman din. So you can start with that as well. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for your questions. And I will now hand over the floor to Nina Gomia. She's a lead data engineer, and she's going to be talking about how to move on from getting laid off. Ayan. So, hello, Nina. Yeah.
Ayan. So, thank you so much, Josh. Medyo parang jam-packed yung questions about shifting to data career. So, sige, pag-usapan natin this time yung pagkatapos nyo mag-shift ng data career. Kasi a lot of people think that moving to data career is really smooth sailing. So, not all the times na ganun yung nangyayari. So, I'd be very frank with you na hindi nga siya palaging smooth sailing. So sige, let's start with the presentation. Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. So na-appreciate ko na nandito kayo. And welcome to Nasaktan Ka Na Ba? What do you do when you are laid off in tech? So as mentioned kanina ni Joshua, there are so many news about layoffs, especially in the Western countries. And hindi naman yan iba when it comes to the Philippines. Kasi kahit pa paano, ina-outsource nila yung jobs dun sa Western countries na yun, papunta dito sa Philippines. And sometimes we get affected as well. So just to introduce myself, my name is Nina, lead data engineer, and twice na po ako na late. Yes, twice. So I have the authority to talk about this with you guys. But anyway, if you want to know more about me, you can visit my LinkedIn profile. Just type in my name, Nina Camilla. Okay. So I'm actually one of the community builders of Data Engineering Pilipinas. Like what Josh mentioned, 7 years na ako na nasa data engineering field. Ayun. And then this topic is very personal to me, and I'm here today because I want to share my experience to help you get back on your feet if ever, wag naman sana, na ma-lay off kayo. When I was laid off, ang daming pumapasok sa isip ko that time. So, unang-una, what happened? Bakit? Di ba? Was it my fault? Paano na ang bills? Paano na ang buhay, ang ating luho, needs natin? It was actually very overwhelming. Wala na ba akong team, 'di ba? So, but eventually I found a way forward, and today I want to share that or share with you the steps I took to bounce back, not just emotionally kasi yan yung pinakamahirap, yung emotions, but also legally and strategically. Okay? So, first things first is acceptance. You have to accept na na-lay off na kayo. And there's really nothing you can do about it because it has already been processed. Na-communicate na yun sa DOLE, na-communicate na yun sa HR nyo. So, before that news came into your plate, madami na po yung dinaan ng proseso. Madaling sabihin siya, but definitely mahirap gawin. It's completely normal to feel shocked, upset, or even cry. Give yourself a space to grieve. Okay lang yun. Whether it's the loss of your income, your certain routine, or even yung team ninyo. Don't pressure yourself to bounce back right away. The way you process your emotions now will shape how well you transition later because your emotions will affect everything. Your thoughts, your behavior, your focus, and even how you show up in the interviews. Kasi di ba, pag negative yung emotions natin, ang tendency is ma-overwhelm tayo ng negativity and yung doubt natin sa sarili natin, hindi yan may iwasan. So what we want to do is to accept what happened, process it properly, and allow yourself or give time to grieve. Now, the second item that we have to deal with is don't burn bridges. Actually, I find this one very tricky and I'll leave it up to you. Kasi mas kilala nyo kasi yung mga nakatrabaho nyo, yung boss ninyo. So it's up really to you. But if you were to ask me, I'd say, don't burn bridges. How you leave matters. Say goodbye with professionalism, thank your teammates, and if it really feels right, di ba? Kung okay naman kayo ng boss nyo talagang nagkataon na kayo yung natamaan ng unfortunate event, then you may even thank your manager. But this is not totally required. Okay? Relationships in tech go a long, long way. You never know na someone you worked with before could actually open the door to your next opportunity. So be professional in your exit, thank them, and stay connected. Pwede kayong mag-connect siguro sa LinkedIn or Facebook. I don't know if you feel like doing it, then it. Second is, of course, follow legal and ethical protocol. Do not clone company repositories. Don't save company files to personal drive. Return your equipment and review your contract and your non-disclosure agreement. This part is very crucial kasi paid by the company. So it may be tempting to keep the code or files, but doing so can lead to serious legal consequences. So wag niyo na po i-try kasi normally minomonitor na po kayo dyan. And then, make sure to return all company equipment and carefully review your NDA or severance agreement and then leave the company, ito po yung pinaka-importante, with your integrity intact and a professional impression behind you. So, huwag niyo po yung kakalimutan. Bad news or that particular news comes in, you are actually required to speak with your HR. So definitely ask HR the right questions. So during your exit process, don't be afraid to ask your questions, whether it's about severance pay details, insurance benefits, your unemployment eligibility.
Hi, Josh. Habang nawawala si Nina, siguro pwede mo sagutin yung ibang mga questions dito. Ay, ayan na. You're back, Nina. Okay ka na? Nawala ka.
I'm sorry na
Nawawala ka pa.
I think Converge ang may problema. Converge din ako, nawala ako eh.
ako.
Sige
Am I
nga,
audible
Nina.
this time?
Ayan, okay. Yeah. You're audible na.
Yan, Miss Kat.
Naglolo ko yung... Ako lang ba? Pero si Josh din kasi sabi niya nawawala ka eh.
Ako, this time.
Okay, yan, okay. We can hear
Okay
you
na.
na. Okay, good.
Alright. Sige, balik tayo. Sorry na for the kasi ang galing-galing ng ng Converge recently. Yeah. So wait lang ha. Nawala yung aking Yeah. But yeah. So going back, based on experience, yung sa first job na kung saan ako na-lay off, I was given 30 days notice. Tapos yung sa 30 days na yon, I was not required to work, but I am given that opportunity to look for another job. Tapos bayad pa rin ako. So, yun yung maganda. So, para kung although, syempre may pressure, di ba? Kasi wala kang trabaho. After 30 days, wala ka na sweldohin. So, doon sa second job ko, 60 days notice yung binigay sa akin. So, imagine, 2 buwan akong walang ginagawa, pero bayad ako. So, it's just up to you how you really see what's currently happening. Pero, it's very important na yung focus natin, yung mental health natin is very healthy and yung point of view natin is very healthy kasi sabi ko sa inyo, yun yung mag-shape nung magiging outcome ng inyong mga interviews. Okay? So, yun. Yun lang naman. And then, for the other one is, syempre, when you are already ready, refresh your resume, your LinkedIn, and then, of course, even your job street profile. So, highlight your accomplishments and update your status to show that you are open to work. Now is also the best time to ask for endorsements or recommendations from your colleagues while your contributions are still fresh in their minds. Yung sa akin, pagka sabi sa akin na na-lay off ako, I immediately contacted all my colleagues, everybody that I've worked with via LinkedIn, and then humingi kagad ako ng parang testimony. So kung mabibisita yung aking LinkedIn profile, ang dami naman dong nagbigay. And I'm very lucky na maganda yung feedback kasi naka-post yun, di ba? So, yeah. Don't be shy to let other recruiters know that you're looking. So, di ba dun sa LinkedIn meron kayong parang open to work? Don't be shy kasi it will actually attract more recruiters to you rather than ikaw yung apply dun sa job. Minsan, magugulat ka na magigising ka, may 5 ka na kagad na messages. But again, this one depends, pero yun yung maganda kapag transparent kayo. mas madali kayo makakahanap ng work if you let them know na you're available for work. Tama? And then, don't forget to reflect. Ayan, so ito na, favorite meme ko. Bakit kasalanan ko, di ba? So, kasalanan mo ba talaga? Yeah. Una-una, hindi nyo kasalanan na na-lay off kayo. Kasi, it's not your fault. Layoffs usually happen because of sudden shifts in management. Example, na-acquire yung company and there are so many redundant positions, they had to lay off some of the employees. Changes in company priorities, or missed business targets, hindi naka-target yung sales team nyo, so walang ipapasweldo sa inyo, kailangan mag-lay off to save the company. So it's actually a business decision, not a reflection of your worth or even your performance. The stigma of being laid off is something shameful needs to go. Hindi po siya nakakahiya. Okay? It happens even to the best people. And during this time, it's also a chance to ask yourself, what do I really want to do next? Meron ako last week na na-interview or si Keith ata yung naka-interview sa kanya. Sabi niya, ayaw niya na mag-data engineer, ayaw niya rin mag-data science. So, ang gusto niya ay, na-realize niya na ang gusto niya is data analyst. So, you might be one of that, you might be the same as that person. Baka naman pala hindi mo gusto yung ginagawa mo. So, it's good na i-reflect mo yun, di ba? Evaluate mo yun. And then, sometimes, a layoff is the push we need to realign with our goals. Sa akin, na-realize ko na na-layoff ako, ayoko na pala na night shift. Hindi pala siya madali. Masaya ako dun sa team ko, pero hindi siya madali sa akin, health-wise. So, I think, I saw that as a blessing kasi I was given 60 days notice. So, nakapagpahinga ako, mas naging ready ako, mas na-realize ko na mas gusto ko pala morning shift rather than the night shift. And then, of course, take a look at your financial runway. And if possible, use this time to take a short course, earn a certification, or finally work on that passion project. Yeah. So, ang ginawa ko nun parang, yun nga, nag-relax lang talaga ako. Nag-dive ako, nag-swimming, anything that I wanted to do to relax. But I understand that this is not applicable to all, but take that time if you were given that opportunity or privilege to do so. Okay, so again, hindi nyo po kasalanan nyo. Don't treat technically restart strategically, no? So don't treat job searching as a one-size-fits-all sprint na kapag nawalan kayo ng trabaho, basta click na lang kayo ng click, apply now, apply to everything. No, don't do that. Set your clear goals. Ano ba yung gusto mo? Do you want to be a senior data engineer? Or do you want to step up and become a lead data engineer? Do you want to do project management? Anong gusto mo? So you have to set the clear goal, personalize each resume, and rehearse your layoff story with confidence. Ito yung palaging sinasabi ko to sa mga tao na na-layoff. You have to tell the company that you're applying for na na-layoff kayo kasi kayo yung magiging priority. And there's no shame in it, to be honest. Kapag sinabi sa akin nung ini-interview ko na na-layoff siya, priority ko siya kasi una-una, I want that person to have the job. Second, alam ko na available siya anytime at hindi lang siya yung basta nag-e-explore lang. 'Di ba? Na tingin-tingin lang siya kung maganda yung. So parang alam mo yun, it reduces my time from interviewing a lot of candidates kasi meron ako dito na taong na lay off not because PIP siya or something happened, but dahil itong taong to ay victim lang ng layoff. So kaya minsan sila yung nagiging priority namin. This person is readily available anytime. Tapos, don't underestimate the power of your network. Go ahead, reach out to your former colleagues. Kaya nga, di ba sabi natin, don't burn your bridges. Kasi these people will be most likely the one to help you find your job. And then you'll be surprised how many people would actually genuinely want to help. Even HR, sabi sa inyo, pag sila yung recruitment ninyo at sinabi yung na-lay off kayo, ay, ang bilis nila mag-reply sa inyo, promise. And then, of course, be intentional. Read the job description carefully. Do your skills align with the, ask yourself do your skills align with the requirements? And then, definitely take notes. Hindi apply, hindi nyo alam kung ano yung ina-applyan nyo. So, take notes about it. Ano yung kailangan sa role, how many experience, anong mga technology requirements, certifications, ito ba ay hybrid, RTO, ano. And then practice your interviews, like tell me something about yourself. Yeah, yung mga unang question palagi. Then take coding exams. Yeah. And then, of course, study the latest tools and technologies. And most importantly, strategize your search. A thoughtful approach beats a rushed one every time. Tapos, don't forget to stay inspired. Yan, you are not alone. Hindi kayo nag-iisa. Madami tayong pare-paras na na-layoff. And many tech professionals are in the same boat right now. Don't forget to join communities, whether it's online or local. Consider freelancing, volunteering, or working on a passion project to stay engaged and visible. A layoff may seem like an ending, but it could actually be a beginning of a better chapter with better opportunities, a healthier environment, and even a better pay. So sa akin, sa akin personal to, naging door siya for me to have a better pay. So kung dati, sabihin natin, sample lang, binabayaran tayo ng 50K, nung na-lay off ka, biglang naging 150 yan or whatsoever. It opened a lot of doors. It may not be applicable to everyone, but again, don't take it na parang ilolobo yung sarili niyo na, ay, kasi na-lay off ako, I'm very unworthy. No, you are worthy. You give exactly what you want to receive as a compensation and then let the HR or the company deal with it. Huwag niyong ilolobo sarili niyo dahil na-lay off kayo. Don't ever do that. I did not do that and I'm now reaping the benefits. Charot. Wala po tayong pay reveal dito. And if you're looking for a place to start when it comes to your online communities, Data Engineering Pilipinas is here to help. We have a Discord community where you can find job tips, new learning, and even project ideas for your next move. Pwede niyo ako i-message doon sa Data Engineering Pilipinas. If you want to practice interviews with us, go ahead. Kung gusto magpa-review ng resume, go ahead. We'll be more than happy to help you. And then final takeaways, don't forget to take care of your mental health. Okay? Live with grace and integrity no matter how hard it feels. And when you're ready, re-enter the market with intention. A layoff is just one chapter in your story. Hindi po ito ang nagde-define ng inyong buhay. Your next role might just be the one that brings you more purpose, more growth, more peace, di ba, than the one you lost. You've got this. Okay? So, yan. And definitely, turn setbacks into setups for a better career. That's it. Thank you so much. May question ba kayo? Hala, ang dami yung chat. Ayan. Sa interview po ba, natanong, ay hala, dami. Maximum na sahod. Ay, yung sahod mismong maximum na sahod. Kunyari, nasa description ay 35K. Tapos di pa pala total yung sahod talaga. So sa salary range, it depends on your skills. Meron akong interview dahil ang range nila is parang this certain amount. Pero nung binigay ko yung asking price ko, they were able to comply with it. So nasa ano nyo po yun? Nasa negotiation with the HR or with the recruitment. Yeah, I think wala naman kayong question na. Tama po ba? Wala na naman ako.
Nandiyan ka pa,
I think-
nandiyan ka pa.
Ayan, thank you. So I guess if there are no more questions, I can give this floor back to Sherwin kung may announcement ka pa, Sherwin. Thank you.
Wala naman. Thank you very much to Josh. Nandiyan pa ba si Josh? Parang wala na si Josh. Josh and Nina. This has been recorded and even the chat. May question actually si Daryl. So we'll be sending this to Dep, kina Mike and kina Kate, so it can be posted siguro sa Discord if that's where your recordings are stored. There's going to be 3 more Saturdays that we are having. Dire-diretso lang tayo. Thank you very much everyone for attending. There are other events sa National ICT Month It was supposed to be posted sa Facebook kaso tinanggal ng Meta yung calendar of activity. So hindi namin alam kung bakit tinanggal. So we're going to repost that. So actually after this is the one on cloud. Let me give you the link if you're interested to join. We are actually starting in a few minutes.
2 minutes.
So
Yes, ano to,
hold
no?
on.
Introduction to Cloud by
Into
AWS.
Kaya nga,
Yes.
ang problema
Join
ko,
kayo.
ang bagal ng internet ko.
Uy,
I
baka
can't
meron
even
akong
start
copy.
it. Nasa ano, they're probably asking nasa na tayo. Oh my God, what's happening to my internet?
I think I have it. Wait lang. Do I have it open here? Kailangan mo yung ano no, yung link.
Do you still need
Yung
help, sir?
link. If
Kailangan
you
ko
have
ng
the
tulong.
link,
Eto, I got it. Yeah, so I
Okay.
pasted the link and join there and then get to know or know about Introduction to Cloud by
To Cloud.
AWS Users Group.
Yeah. Okay. So, kopyahin nyo na
Kailangan yung
kagad.
pinili.
Kopyahin
Kailangan yung
nyo na
pinili.
kagad. And then, we'll be opening it up very soon. Okay? With that, thank you everyone and we'll see you again next Saturday. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Bye.
Josh,
Bye.
Nina, Kate. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.